What's good, everybody? It's your boy JB9 Deuce representing JB Speakeasy, the black platform where black men speak freely. Once again, I am your host. Um, gotta admit, guys, it's been a very long time since I did a show, at least of the last few days. It's the one I think the last one was when I did the show about the Hebrew Israelites versus Christians. If you haven't seen that, go to my page and check that out. Also, I have two new channels that I'm doing. One for my Christian content. That's in I'm gonna try to find a way to merge my Christian content along with my subjects that I do on the regular for the JB Speakeasy. But I also want to let you guys know I have another Instagram page where I'll be covering these type of topics as well. Especially from a biblical point of view. That's my whole plan. Just real world topics from a biblical point of view. Because if you believe in God, like I believe in God, you can talk about it in many aspects. That way people won't try to make the contradiction type of accusation against me, because I've heard that before too. Anyway, today we're going to be getting into a more of a worldly subject, or a subject that's going on in the world today, regarding the P. Diddy and Cassie situation. But not only that, but also dealing with the Bill Cosby new accuser. And even though the name of the title is to be kind of funny, it says Surviving P. Diddy, I actually want to get more in depth with a much greater problem. I didn't want to title this because I know it can be triggering, but I would like people to come up if they have a problem with this. I would like to talk about the whole idea of Me Too and how it, not just Me Too, but I want to address false allegations and false charges and how detrimental it could be to a man's career, just as detrimental it is as a woman that goes through it. But anyway, before I get into all that, I just want to address the Cassie and P. Diddy situation. Everybody join me with me. Here we go. Oh, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, y'all. Stop playing. Hit the like and subscribe. You're hearing how YouTube is trying to get people to like and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to your boy. Anyway, here's an interview where I'm going to be showing. We're talking about Cassie and P. Diddy. Somebody's covering this story, but I just want to give y'all a little background on that. Okay, let them talk. I'm gonna send the link to a few people too if y'all want to come up as well. All right, here we go.
Puff Diddy is now facing a lawsuit. The singer known as Cassie, alleging years of sexual abuse and during their relationship. Combs would force Cassie to have sex with male while he watched and filmed. He would control her with beatings and drugs shortly after they met when she was just 19 years old.
P. Diddy has silenced Cassie after she filed a lawsuit against him. She claims that Diddy has physically harmed her for years, decades of him beating her, threatening her career, and hiding her away. He used his power in the industry to stop her career when she challenged him, and now he's using his money to stop the truth from coming out. So let's get into it. I think we can all agree that there's something sketchy going on with Diddy, because his ex Cassie made some damning allegations against him. But then once those accusations became public, she ended up settling with him. It's not normal for someone to make such disgusting allegations against someone and then to quickly settle with them and act like nothing had happened. But that's what's going on between P. Diddy and Cassie. P. Diddy, aka Sean Combs, and the singer Cassie have reached a settlement just one day after she filed an explosive lawsuit against him, claiming that he had R-worded her and physically harmed her multiple times. Just to give you guys my opinion up front, I feel like P. Diddy is silencing Cassie by paying her off and acting like nothing had happened. Cassie put out a statement, quote, "I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control." P. Diddy also put out a statement very similar, quote, "We have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best." And I'm sure P. Diddy does wish Cassie the best, because she could have really exposed him in court. And we're going to walk through her filing and her allegations together in this video. But even with this settlement, there's a lot of damage to P. Diddy's reputation, because we could see how violent of a man he really is. But this was a smart move for P. Diddy, because this settlement quickly shuts down what could have been a risky and potentially potentially embarrassing legal process. So of course, this quick settlement raises a lot of red flags. Some people wrote on social media, the fact that he settled that quick, Cassie had some dirt on him. Another person wrote, that was the fastest episode of Surviving Diddy. Another comment reads, regardless of the settlement, one thing for sure is that he did it, because it was shut down dumb quick. He didn't even put up a fight. Another person writes, wow, that was fast AF. He did that stuff, because I didn't see someone paying millions of dollars for something they didn't do. This person writes, he probably threatened her family. If he can blow up a car, throw a lamp at her in the hallway of a hotel, and pay for the footage, he has some people on his team that will make her and her family disappear. And Cassie must know a lot about Diddy, because he is throwing millions of dollars at her for her silence. So let's take it back to the beginning, back in 2005, where Cassie and Diddy first met. They had a professional relationship because the singer Cassie released her first album under Diddy's record label. Although Cassie and Diddy did not go public with their relationship, you would see them together at events, and it seemed like there was something going on more than just a working relationship. According to the lawsuit, Cassie met Diddy in late 2005 when she was 19 and he was 37. She then signed a 10-album recording deal with his record label, and then within months, they began a romantic relationship. So already the power dynamic is way off. She's only 19, he's almost 40 years old, and he has control over her professional career.
I'm wondering about the boyfriend, Diddy, whether he came to the set to make sure everything was copacetic with you.
No, he actually really trusted the situation. Him and Terrence spoke beforehand because Terrence.
Wait. You date P.Diddy?
Oh, wow.
I did not know this. Yeah. Hold
Yes,
the phone.
Greg.
You know,
Yes.
I typically don't talk about my private life.
So at one point, these two had a decent relationship. But in this court filing, we see how dark everything really was. Because Cassie did not hold back in her filing. She claims that he had R-worded her and harmed her multiple times. So P. Diddy was sued in federal court in New York City by his former girlfriend, Cassie, who claims that he would not only R-word her, but for years repeatedly physically harmed her.
New York Times is reporting that music mogul Sean Combs, better known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, is now facing a lawsuit from the singer known as Cassie, whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, alleging years.
Okay, let's look. Okay, guys. All right, guys. I was letting that play a little bit. I'm gonna play a little bit more, but first I gotta give my monologue like I usually do at this time. First, let me say this. Since this is a sensitive subject to a lot of ladies that probably did have sexual assault happen to them, listen. I reason with you. I feel for you, and I'm sorry that happened. And I pray that you get some kind of healing from that or some kind of justice in any way possible. But let's really get to the meat of this, because this actually is something that kind of gets under my, it makes me mad in a way, kind of, because let's look at this. Let's rewind the clock back to what this man just said, that, or what she said. Cassie said that she was dating Diddy, right? Diddy was beating her. Diddy was doing this. Diddy was doing that. And for the record, I think Diddy's a piece of shit in a lot of ways. But I believe I believe his business makes him a piece of shit. If he did something or didn't do something, we should judge by the court of law, you know, what he actually did. Now, I know he settled, but settlement doesn't actually admit guilt. That's one thing I'm going to say. Settling does not admit guilt. But let's get back to this part where it said Cassie dated Diddy for years. And he was beating her for years, and he raped her for years. See, here's my thing with that. I believe that if this man was as bad as, first of all, let's concentrate on you calling yourself his girlfriend. If you was his girlfriend for many years and he was doing these things for many years, my question is, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? You could have did this then. Some people will argue that, oh, well, he had her scared. Well, why is she not scared now? The same thing he could have did to her then, he could do to her now. If he has money, you see, he dropped $30 million. So I don't know. These type of allegations always draw a red flag appears up in my head when I hear these. A red alert goes off because I noticed too many, and then I noticed too many situations like this where a woman would say, "I was dating this man," and then years later they'll come back and say, "Oh, this man did such and such to me. Why didn't you report that then? It's hard for me to believe that you said I dated a man. Now all of a sudden, because part of dating, you're going to have sexual relations at some point. How did we know that these weren't just sexual relations and you're ashamed of what you did, or you're angry that you was with him, or regretted being with him? How do you know this isn't regret that she's redefining as rape now? Because any woman that was raped by a man would never then claim that man as her man. She would be waiting for any opportunity to get away from him. But she was with him for years. For years. And here's the thing about ladies. Ladies, I think most women understand this, that if you report to a family friend or your family at that point, or any kind of man that concerned about you outside of Diddy himself, would have came to see Diddy on behalf of your well-being, even if that meant him death. Like if I had a daughter, or if one of my female cousins told me that a man was raping, beating, or assaulting them, I'll put my life on the line to protect my family member, or that lady's special to me. I remember when I was younger, there was a young lady that I knew. Her boyfriend, her mom's boyfriend, was doing something to her. She confided in me. I was the person that people confided in. I'm not going to say her name because I appreciate her confidence. Even this is over 10 years later, way over 10 years later. But I still respect that lady. And even though we had our little issues, whatever, I never put her name out there. But I will say that her situation was messed up to the point where I was ready to go ride for her against her mom's boyfriend. And this is at 16 years old because I cared for her. And she stopped me. Now, what am I saying all this for? What I'm saying all this for is it's hard for me to believe as a man that you as a woman was with a man for multiple years saying he did all of these things and you didn't make any attempt to leave. You get what I'm saying? Just like you reporting him raping you now, excuse me, none of this is going YouTube, please forgive me, YouTube. But if he's raping you now, why in the world didn't you report that then? This is going to lead into the next part of the discussion where I talk about Bill Cosby. But first, I would just like to say, as a woman, though, that's why I would love for ladies to come up. I would like you to explain to me how a man, this is another thing, a man's beating you. Now, I was always told a man that puts his hands on a woman is a punk. Now, one thing I know about women is women never like dating punks because they don't feel safe. So if a man is a punk for putting his hands on a woman, why does this woman, Cassie, want to be with a man that's beating her for several years? Because remember, if he's a punk for beating you, women do not like being with punks. So if he's a punk, according to women's rhetoric, for putting his hands on a woman, why were you comfortable to be with him for 10 years? Why are you okay with this idea that, okay, I'm going to stay with him, though he's beating me, he's doing all this, he forced me to be with these. See, it's hard for me to believe a woman gets forced to do anything in today's society because all it takes is an allegation to bring a man to justice in the first place, because all you have to do is say so-and-so did something and his name is all in the news, all in the papers, just like it is now. Now, for the record, I think Diddy's a piece of shit. That's my opinion. That's what I honestly believe because of his business practices have shown this. So my next question, my next problem I have with this is the greatest problem I have with this, and I'm going to bring it up in the Bill Cosby situation. Why do you wait for two things? Why do you wait all these years to come back to tell these stories when you could have told them when it was fresh and new? For one, and here's my greatest problem with this, and excuse me, ladies, I'm sorry, but this is my problem with Me Too as well, that out of nowhere, it seems like these ladies like to make these allegations, right? Now, I've heard that rape is the worst thing that can happen to a woman. It gets worse than happen to any man or woman. But for any woman that has been raped, I heard that that's the most miserable experience they can ever go through. Well, if that be the case, money should never be an answer to this man getting justice for what he did, against you. Excuse me. So my point being is, what is my point? My point is, if you're a woman and you're claiming that a man did this rape to you, you shouldn't even care about money. You should deny the settlement and be like, no, I don't want the money. I want him to be in jail for the destruction that he did to my life. Destruction meaning whatever damage that did to him, as far as you saying he raped you. That he graped you. So if he graped you, money should not be a fixing for that, because it's a traumatic experience that you can't buy away. There's some things money cannot buy. It cannot buy you peace of mind. Like my pastor always said, and my mom even said this. He said, money can buy you a good bed, but it can't buy you a good night of sleep. You see what I'm saying? Money may be able to buy you some medicine, but it can't give you good health. Money may be able to buy you temporary comfort, but it's what it is, temporary, because it's not genuine to what fixes the actual problem. So my point being is, why is it that when Cassie or any of these women from the Me Too, even the Bill Cosby situation, which I'm gonna touch on. Why is it that when they get these money settlements, it's all is forgiven? Oh, I'm fine now. I'm okay now. I was all this, you know, did all these things to me, but I'm okay now because I got a $30 million settlement. Now it's the end of the story. She's laughing. She's enjoying herself. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not, I didn't think that's what this was. But I'm gonna play another clip. Now I'm gonna drag this into the Bill Cosby situation. The Bill Cosby situation is disgusting in so many ways because I never believed from day one he raped these women. I believe that they used to have these wild parties back in the day. I believe that these women used to, you know, because back in the day, like they always bring up the Quaalude thing. I have some older people I know that in the 70s used to have the Coke spoon. They used to have the Coke and they used to snort Coke. And Coke would keep them up for several hours or whatever, but to put them to sleep, they'll take a Quaalude to even them out. If that be the case, why are we acting like he gave this women and drugged them? If he was already high on cocaine, you're already under the influence of drugs. The other drugs is to balance you out. Now, most of these women knew that also Bill Cosby was married to, I believe, what was her name? Not Claire, that's Claire, but I forget what Camille Cosby. Now he was married to Camille Cosby, right? Cool. So that means that as these women actually are now claiming that Bill Cosby did something to him, my question then becomes, why would you go to this married man's room and then attempt to have sex with this married man? Yet, now you want us to look at you a victim, not 1 year, not 2, not 10, not 20, not 30, but 40 years later, almost 50 years later, you want to come back and say he did something? My question is, if I was a judge, my first question was, well, why did you go to the room with him? He didn't abduct you. He didn't kidnap you. He didn't tie you up with ropes and take. Why are you there? Knowing you're in the room of a married man. Now, as far as Bill Cosby in his marriage, that's between him and God. But as for these women trying to come back and act like he did something, and then this new woman that's coming out, since when you get to come out, it's been this long. Why didn't you say something when this other woman like 3-4 years ago came out? Where were you then? Where were you then? And see, and that's my biggest problem with this whole Bill Cosby situation is the fact that if he did these things, why didn't you say something back in the day? It's never a case where women won't get believed, not especially when they deal with a celebrity. But anyway, I'm going to play another clip. I want people to come on and play another clip with Eddie Griffin, where he's speaking on the basis saying the same thing I said. So hold on just a second, guys. I'm gonna play the clip. I'm trying to get people to come on. Hold on just a second, guys. Here we go.
You talked about
since it's Vlad TV fair use. Since it's Vlad TV fair use. Since Vlad TV fair use.
Bill, you know, Dr. Cosby, I'm gonna call him by his real moniker. Dr. Cosby is a class act. When I was first starting on the Malcolm Natty show, he called me over to the set of his show. And he said, yes, I hear you're at Cancer also. I said, yes, July 15th. He said, I want you to sit down and study. It's obviously you're great. We all know it. But you got to learn the business, Eddie. Right? So I would go there literally for a week and study. And at the end of every rehearsal, he says, so what did you notice? I said, I noticed you would take the script, put it up on his feet, and then bring it to life, but add in your flavor. You didn't go just by the script. You knew the map, but you got there your own way. Because once you get it on your feet and you actually interplaying with the other actor, other shit's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Right. The small little nuances that you can't write, a certain look, you know what I mean? A hand gesture, shit like that. Right. So I'm watching that. And he would smoke a study, his little stogie nigga, and laugh afterwards. Yeah, it's just smart. It's smart. I like that. You know, we need more with brains. Right. So, which helped me, you know, transitioning from just stand up where I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. And then they hand this little nigga off the streets, you know, $100,000+ a fucking week, and then put constraints on the motherfucker. I felt like I was handcuffed every motherfucking week on that show. It was a living hell for me. So, but you know, Dr. Cosby helped me out with that shit.
What do you think, you know, your take on what happened with Bill Cosby with the allegations and everything else like that?
Look, first off, you have to remember this was in the 70s. All right. I'm old enough to remember the 70s. The 70s is a different time. All right. The 70s, motherfuckers all had Coke spoons around their fucking necklace. You go to the damn disco, nigga, the line is laid out on the table. Toot, toot. All right.
Yeah.
When you want to level out after a hit of cocaine.
Okay, right now, we're gonna have Eddie Griffin. He's actually about to get into what I was saying about the Bill Cosby situation that made no sense about 30 years ago and how the whole party lifestyle of Hollywood worked. Right now, we're about to have Eddie Griffin explain the whole party lifestyle of the 70s and how things worked. We already have a preview if you know anything about the Richard Pryor story. So now we're about to actually go in and hear Eddie Griffin go on and talk about exactly what I was saying about the situation, why it's suspicious. All right, here we go. Let's do it now.
Can you get a Quaalude? All right. So did he rape these bitches? All of them said the same thing. We went to the room. Why would you go to the room of a known married man?
Right.
Number one.
Right.
Meaning they're
Right. That's
down
what
to
I'm
fuck
saying.
anyway.
Right.
Why would you go to a room, a hotel room of a known married man? And he incorporates this whole marriage thing in his comedy routines, and it's not a secret that he's married.
You understand me?
Okay. So they're down to fuck. Then they go back 30 years later and say, he raped me.
30 years. I don't understand that.
I mean,
That's like a motherfucker robbing me. And then I wait 30 years to call the police. I got robbed
30 years ago.
in 1984.
Right, because if you notice, there was no...
And it's him!
Because it's past the statute of limitations, so there's no criminal charge.
There is a systematic effort to destroy every black male entertainer's image.
Okay, guys, let's look at that for a second. There is a concerted effort, is what Eddie Griffin said, to destroy every black male's image. Let's go down some that I even knew about. Let's take one of my favorites, Tupac Shakur, right? Now, Tupac, let's keep it, let's put it out there now. He was wrong for a lot of stuff he did. There's a lot of things he could have did differently, and a lot of situations he shouldn't have put himself in. Let's agree there. But where I don't agree is look at what, especially this show right here, Vlad TV is doing. Excuse me. It seems like people like Vlad TV and so many people are taking shots at Tupac 25, 26 years after his death, almost made sure he was dead before trying to make these allegations about he was fake, he was this, he was that. Now, what does that have to do with anything, J-Real? He was also accused of rape. What does that have to do with anything, J-Real? It has everything to do with it, because it seems like as an entertainer, once you die, or something happens to you where you get to a certain level of success, it seems like people try to destroy your image. Tupac, it was rape, or allowing people to believe, or allowing people to bring up the fact that he supposedly had sex with this woman against her will. Let's look at the idea of Bill Cosby. He was once called the father of America. That means if you know the white kids, he was the father of America. The one thing America hates is a positive black male image. As a matter of fact, when Bill Cosby started getting these allegations, well, back in the day, Bill Cosby, most people don't know, he was trying to buy NBC so he could put on positive representation of black families. As you see through his works of The Cosby Show, A Different World, and even A Kid Say the Darndest Things, the second Cosby Show, even helping with Malcolm Eddie, as you heard what Eddie just said, Eddie Griffin. So it seems like there is an effort from a white supremacist standpoint to keep black men's image destroyed. The problem I have is why? The question I have is why? Why destroy the black male's image? Because the black male image in America is supposed to only reflect gangbanging, pimping, And see, I got homies that's in all those lifestyles, so shout out to them. But I'm saying, as far as a positive outlook for people to look up to, Bill Cosby was a positive influence at one point. Yeah, there were some homies people that had problems with him and stuff because he told niggas to pick up their pants, told brothers to pick up their pants, and ladies shouldn't get pregnant by neo man and stuff like that. But that was just for the betterment of the race. People took that the wrong way. People took that the wrong way. There you go. People took that the wrong way. I believe that it's completely unfair to Bill Cosby, Tupac, and all these other men. It seems like when two things happen, when a black man gets to a certain level of success, they try to destroy him. There's two. Put it like this. Let me slow down. There's two. I'll say there's two types of times, or two times where they try to destroy a black male's image. One, when he gets to a level of success of money, like how Bill Cosby did when he had the $400 million, was going to pay $200 million to buy NBC. Or Tupac, when he influenced cultures, both black and white culture. Remember that. When you can influence black and white people, white supremacy is going to have a problem with you. Not white people. Shout out to my white friends that support the show, but I'm talking about white supremacy, which doesn't like those white people that mess with black people anyway. As a matter of fact, that's the point. That any black person that actually has a good positive image in America, or an image that people look up to that's black, they try to destroy you. Bill Cosby literally was the father of America. He even did a Kid Say the Darndest Things. As a matter of fact, when I was 8 years old, I had an audition for that show. It's early 2000s, 99, 2000. They came to Jackson Elementary, was trying to see if anybody wanted to be on the show. My mom said I was revealing too much about our family and household and stuff, so she denied me the thing. But I could have been on TV too, with Bill Cosby. Or, at least made the audition, so I like toot my own horn. But I'm just saying that why is it that anytime a black man is doing something positive, they want to find a way to ruin his name? Look at what they've done to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson he was the best black entertainer of the 21st century. But as soon as he died, Oprah did what? Decided she was going to do a documentary to destroy him. Even when he was alive, people wanted to do a documentary to destroy this man because of what something looked like. I don't give a daggone what something looks like. What is it really is my point. So for people to sit here and try to say, it pisses me off that anytime somebody black has a black man that's trying to do something like my show. I'm trying to do a positive show for black people and black men to speak, even though a lot of people don't come up. I want people to start coming up because this is an avenue I open so black men can speak, so we can bring a voice to stuff like this. Excuse me, there we go. To bring a voice to something like this. So I feel like it's completely disgusting that we allow the best of us to be made to look like the worst of us. But I'm gonna get back to Eddie Griffin. If you guys want to come up, please come up. I'm sending a link to people to see if they want to come up and have something to say on this. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm gonna get back to Eddie Griffin. I'm gonna hit up Kia. Kia, I'm gonna try to hit you up right now, girl. Come on. All right, here we go. Let's do it.
They want us all to have an actress by a name. Cosby raped a white woman in Colorado. Dr. Cosby raped 37 bitches and is still counting. Nobody leaves this business clean. Michael Jackson fucked little white children.
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan gambled.
Right. And then his dad got killed.
You understand?
They try to tie that.
You're not going to die clean. I
mean, everything that Bill Cosby has built up, the decades of work that he stood behind.
The man has, single-handedly, sent a bunch of brothers and sisters to college.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't pay for it himself, he gave them the idea that it's possible.
You see what I've just said, guys? You see what I'm saying? While we're talking about how Bill Cosby supposedly gave some bitches gave some females some pills, what about all the people that Bill Cosby put through college? What about all the black men that Bill Cosby put through college? Look at all the tremendous amount of black women that he put through college profusely. And us as a black community, we should be ashamed of ourselves that we like to let the white mass media destroy some of our positive black images while then embracing the worst of us. That's what they want. That's what white supremacy want. They want us to destroy the best of us, find something wrong. And see, black people, we ain't crap for the simple reason that, hear me out, We got mad at Bill Cosby for telling black men they should pick their pants up and for black women to stop having kids out of wedlock. And everybody, black people, we turned on him. We turned on him, but we have no problem supporting Sexy Red. We have no problem supporting Cardi B, which everybody tried to make her a symbol for black women when she's admitted to be a Puerto Rican. All these type of things we support. Shout out to my homies at Bang, but as far as a positive image, that isn't one. I'm sorry, y'all. I love y'all, but being a gangster, is not a positive image for black people, especially when we're trying to compete with a white America about, especially the sense of morality. But I'm gonna let Eddie Griffin go on a little bit. But that pisses me off.
All right. The motherfucker was so generous with his money, he bought colleges.
I know.
You understand me?
I know that I've seen some interviews.
And then some pussy is supposed to tear that down.
I've seen some interviews with.
Let's talk about this little motherfucking white boy who's a known motherfucking pedophile, the director that escaped overseas. What's that motherfucker's name?
Roman Polanski.
Yeah, I don't see them fucking with that motherfucker.
Well, I mean, he's
back at work. Yeah, he's back at work.
He's like in Sweden or something like that.
Yeah, he had to flee the country.
Yeah. I mean,
you understand me? He got to flee the country.
Right.
Michael Jackson might have wanted to flee the country.
Yeah.
He didn't get to flee. There's a difference.
Michael Jackson was ultimately found innocent, though.
All three of the little motherfuckers came on. They're adults now. You can count them on the internet.
Yeah.
Saying it never motherfucking happened. Our parents put us up to try to get money out of them.
I think one of them
did mainstream media ever pick that truth up and put it out there.
One of them actually, I think, killed himself at one point. I think. Well, one of the accusers or some shit like that.
Yeah. Because his conscience done fucked him up.
Yeah.
You can't run away from yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are.
One of your famous routines was Michael Jackson on crack.
Yes.
How did that?
One of his favorite jokes.
Okay, so you and Michael talked about
Mike
that
very well.
So Michael Jackson,
a very deep brother.
What was the Michael Jackson on crack routine like?
I said anybody that fuck their face up like that got to be on something. Who knew it was propofol?
You thought it was crack.
Hey.
Okay, so Michael Jackson actually approached you at one point, or you approached him, or how did that work?
It was actually at Neverland.
You went to his house?
Yes.
Okay.
There was some kind of event going on, and I knew a friend of the family.
Okay.
So they brought me out to the house, and then Michael found out I was out there. I was out with my kids and enjoying the Neverland shit. So one of the dudes came out and said, Mr. Jackson would like to meet you. I think they talking about Joe. I know Papa Joe from out here in Vegas. So I thought it was talking about Joe. He's like, no, Michael wants to meet you. I'm like, shit. So I'm nervous like a motherfucker, nigga. I'm like, shit.
You were talking shit about it.
Yeah, did you see the joke and shit? So he has a healthy sense of humor. He said, that's one of my favorite jokes. So anyway, we got to talking and found out we both got elastic imaginations and shit, you know. And first time we met, the second time was in Miami. He was out there recording or something, and it was like a 5-6 star hotel. And we walked in this motherfucker. Michael rented out 6 floors.
Okay.
Nobody can get close to this nigga.
Right.
Never comes in the front door, always comes in the service entrance. So me and Damon Coke Daniels, we wrote My Baby Daddy together.
Mm-hmm.
So I take him out there because we're going to do the script. So we open the door, and I'm expecting security to be there right this way, Mr. Jackson. Michael opens the door, had the tape on his nose. He's like, yeah, come on in. Coke just sitting there. Can't move. I'm like, nigga, come on in. So Michael's sitting on the bed. He's like, you want something to drink? I said, yeah, I'll take some champagne. You know, Coke, like, I just have some water. He's nervous, can't even talk right. So anyway, we got to bouncing ideas and shit. And my brother runs out the room. He's like, nigga, I can't believe y'all motherfuckers just finished each other's sentences and shit. So Michael's like, sit on the bed. I'm like, nigga, that's how you got in trouble. Sit on the bed.
Oh, so you're making pedophile jokes.
Like a motherfucker.
And how is he taking those jokes?
He's a real nigga. I think the reason he liked me because I would just talk to him like a regular person.
Right.
A lot of people around him would just kiss his ass. Yes, Mr. Jackson. Yes. I'm like, nigga, you ain't the only motherfucker that can moonwalk. You know what I mean? So, and he was just real motherfucker with a healthy sense of humor. Nigga. He can set your ass up.
Yeah, I heard Michael's kind of gangster. Like I heard Mike would like beat up his monkey every so often.
Let me put it like this. You know what's gangster? I own Sony's publishing. Every time Beyonce and Jay-Z make a song, Michael was getting a check. I bought the Beatles.
Yeah.
While I'm doing the video with the Beatles. That's gangster.
Right. With
Michael walks into Paul McCartney. If you're gonna
McCartney.
sell the Beatles, how much you sell them for? Oh, I don't know, about 60 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. That motherfucker go right to his trailer, get his people on the phone. Paul don't find out till the next fucking day Michael done bought the Beatles. That motherfucker come on and say, how can you buy Beatles? How can you buy Beatles? He said 60, I gave you 64. That's a lot of money. The girl is mine.
Your publishing's mine.
This nigga's a gangster, nigga.
Michael Jackson was gangster.
You don't make $1 billion being no punk motherfucker.
Yeah. I remember I had this long conversation with Ronnie Newt. You know that one? Ronnie Newt was he was a gangster from the Bay Area, but he had a group called the Neutrons.
I remember the Neutrons.
Yeah, the Neutrons. Those were his kids actually.
All right.
And I remember he was originally I think signed to Joe Jackson, so he was around Michael Jackson. He had pictures of he was wearing the glove at his house and stuff like that. And I remember he showed me this picture. He said, "Listen, this is a picture of my son at Michael Jackson's house in his underwear. I took this picture myself. They tried to pay me $100,000 to say that Michael Jackson molested my son, and use this picture as evidence."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Let me tell you something. Michael Jackson molested my son, I would have killed Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson never touched my son."
Nigga, and Bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody would have made it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
he said all that was bullshit.
I knew that from Jump Street. I was the only celebrity that went to court with the nigga the first day. Yeah.
You actually went to court with him
Yes, I did.
during the whole.
The nigga rode in my limo. He was so nervous he didn't book a car. I drove from my house in Malibu at the time down to Neverland. And him, Catherine was in the car. And I think it was Jermaine. And we pulled up and they had the fucking red carpet rolled out at the courthouse. Rows of motherfucking cameras. I'm like, nigga, is this a movie premiere or a court date?
Yeah.
And Michael was nervous, nigga. I was like, this ain't nothing but a hearing.
Yeah.
I said, I done been to court when I'm figuring out how much time I'm getting.
Yeah.
You walk in and say guilty or not guilty, and you walk the fuck out. Yeah. And the nigga walked out, jumped on top of the SUV and started dancing for the fucking fans.
I remember that.
The judge was mad, talking about we late. If there's 10,000 people on the fucking street, we in the car, we on time, we can't get through the motherfuckers till the police show up and move the crowd out the way.
Right.
But he's a G. He stood up in that courtroom, niggas, not guilty, and did a dance move, nigga.
Michelle handed Beyonce the phone and she was like, hey, are you gonna come? And that's when I told her, I live 45 minutes away from the airport. So even if I wanted to come, that's not going to happen. Like, I'm like, nobody called me? And then she just gave Michelle the phone back.
My favorite thing in the book is
Okay, guys. What's good, everybody? Yeah, I was my bad. I didn't mean to keep people waiting. I'm trying to get people to actually do their due diligence and come on up. But anyway, I'd just like to say this. I feel for Cassie and any other woman, like I said, that was misdone in any way. Like, let me say this. I don't like P. Diddy like that, right? because of how grimy I've heard how he is throughout the years as far as his business. And usually people say if you're either good at something, you're going to be good at it in all avenues, especially if you're a genius enough to make it. But if you're bad at something, you're just as bad as in everything else as you are with everything else. And there's something about Diddy that strikes me wrong, like he's bad with business, like he's bad for somebody trying to get in the game. It seems like he actually tries to manipulate and to actually either extort or just pretty much work you out your money. If anybody has paid attention to Diddy's career over the last 20 to 30 years since Bad Boy's been around, most people that ever worked for Bad Boy make no money. They make no money. They have been mistreated financially, and they have been made to look horrible in many ways. I believe Diddy is one of those figures that he is an opportunist as far as how he can make money off you and then actually get rid of you all in the same breath. Hold on just a second, guys. But I believe that Diddy is. I'm not saying what she said couldn't be true. I'm not saying that what he did isn't possible or far from actually being actually factual. But what I am saying is it does not make sense that when somebody makes an accusation saying that you molested me, you raped me, or excuse me, Facebook, please don't take me down. But if you did anything like that to harm someone, especially a woman, why would you then continue dating this person? And then at the same token, say, if he gives me a check, everything is all right. And if that is the case, should we actually take your accusation seriously? Because as I've heard that a woman being sexually harassed is one of the worst things she could possibly go through. So with that being true, why would we then say that we should actually listen to this person's account on them being somehow mistreated sexually? You get what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. Because I believe that if you're going to put somebody in jail or if somebody is guilty of such a crime, they should pay for their crime. But why is it that money can somehow buy away your trauma? Ladies, please explain to me. Please come up. I'll put a link in the description. How could money buy away your trauma? Because I feel for any woman who's been raped and molested. But see, one of my biggest problems too with this is it seems like ladies, it doesn't seem like y'all ever, and no disrespect to anybody's been through this, but it doesn't seem like y'all ever try to get justice from the messed up men doing this. And I believe if you're really being molested or not molested, but really being raped, because remember, guy, I keep saying grape, guy. I know y'all like, what does that mean? That means on YouTube, if you say the word rape, and I might get in trouble for this, they'll knock your show down. But since I don't have a certain amount of subscribers, they may let me fly under the radar. But please, guys, get my subscribers up, and then I might be able to worry about that problem. Because I'd rather worry about that problem than not having people come up at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like people don't come up, but I did tonight. I know I did a late show, but I would like people for the actually come through and have this conversation with me. Link. And I'm gonna get back to this. I'm just trying to get somebody to come on real fast. Somebody that's important to me. All right. So my thing is this. If you're a woman, right, and you've been something sexually harassed or something like that, or sexually not harassed, but sexually you was taken advantage of, or something bad that a man did to you sexually, I believe that you should want to actually get that man justice. And getting justice doesn't mean you get a check. Justice means that you actually get this person persecuted or prosecuted for whatever wrong they did against you. You get what I'm saying? So I don't believe a lot of these accusations that come up, because a lot of them don't seem like they're serious about it up until, somebody actually gets money off of it. And I don't think you should be willing to get money off of this. I think you should be able to, say, no, I don't want no money. I want this man in jail. that person like that, I'll take seriously because it's like you actually take your in. Okay. A part 2. Sorry about this guy. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and call this show to an end because I think everybody is pretty much I think people are busy. I know I did this show kind of late. I'm just gonna leave you out with this, ladies. If you've been raped or excuse me, raped or something bad has happened to you, please report it. Please don't try to get money off of it, but actually try to get real justice. And real justice is not trying to get money out of a person; it's to get that person put behind bars because what they did was a violation to you. And if you don't report it, then it could happen to another woman. But anyways, I'm gonna go call this show to. Close this show out right now. All right, this is JB, represent JB Speakeasy, the black platform where black people speak freely. I am your host, JB9 Deuce. All right, you guys have a great night. Just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. This is about 45 minutes in. Please join me Friday. I'm doing a part 2 to this. As black people, especially black men, I've opened up a panel to where we can openly have conversations like we have at the barbershop, like we have in the basement, like we have at the homie's house when we're drinking beer or drink or anything else. So I'll take a lot of time on my schedule to do this. So please support, guys. Please like and subscribe and hit my YouTube page. Like and subscribe. This is JB9 Deuce, represent JB Speakeasy, the black platform where black men speak freely. Y'all have a good night. God bless. And, I love y'all all. I love you all. But please love me the same way I love y'all and actually support. All right. Take care. Bye. Goodbye. Now.